We have been criminally misled about fruit, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you why, what's wrong with it, along with a good doctor who shares my opinion on the subject.
My name is Dr. Sam Hai. I'm an internal medicine doctor, and I've been practicing for 9 years. My thoughts on fruit is that you should avoid it. Okay.
We're going to change your mind about fruit. Let's get started.
Fruit. It is the health food that nobody dares to question. We have this social norm around fruit that it's just so good for you. It is put on the highest of pedestals, and any talk against fruit is just pure crazy talk. I believe the opposite is true. I believe there's actually a lot of damage and detriment that can happen from consuming fruit, especially as we're doing it in this very day and age. And this isn't just me saying this. I'm someone who hasn't had a single bite of fruit in over 2 years. This is also coming from an internal medicine doctor. We're going to hear from in today's video later, the amazing Dr. Sam Hai.
I'm an internal medicine doctor, and I've been practicing for 9 years.
I believe that fruit might quietly be keeping millions of people sick, tired, fatigued, and on a constant spiral, a constant yo-yo of dieting, never satiated, hungry over and over again, to their detriment and to the horrible detriment of your liver. We have been told to eat fruit at every single meal, yet obesity rates have doubled since 1980. Fatty liver disease is exploding. 1 in 3 individuals has fatty liver disease right now, and we have children, for the first time in history, walking around with fatty liver disease. Hunger is constant, and so many people will say to me, but I can't live without my fruit. How is that any different than an addiction, by the way? Every time you eat fruit, your blood sugar spikes, your liver goes to work, then your blood sugar crashes, and you go back for more. Dopamine hit after dopamine hit. Eating fruit multiple times per day, out of season, it's getting shipped all around the planet on cargo ships and semis so that we can eat it a couple times a day out of season, is completely abnormal. It's the biggest fad diet of all time. It's something that humans have never done throughout the history of man. Taking these fruits and blending them up into juices is something that we've never done as well. And consuming these fruits that are literally inundated with glyphosate and pesticides and fungicides and fertilizers and all sorts of chemicals in deplete soil just to try to get something to grow there is something that we've never done throughout history. The reason fruit is held in such high regard is because it's a single ingredient and it's natural. But the truth of the matter is, nothing I just described there is natural. What humans would have done throughout mankind, throughout the history of man, we would have found fruit seasonally, probably for a couple weeks, maybe a month at the most out of the year. And that would have been natural fruit, grown in natural soil, not fruit grown in chemically laden fields of soil that are completely deplete of any minerals or nutrients. It's completely unnatural. And then on top of it, man has taken this fruit and perverted it and genetically modified it and altered it over and over again. An apple used to be this big. Now it's a big softball full of sugar. Dopamine hit, addiction. It is nothing natural about it anymore. We tell ourselves these fertilizers and these pesticides and this glyphosate. Glyphosate, by the way, I've said this many times on my channel. I urge you all to Google it. Glyphosate is a weed killer. Yes, that's true. You're ingesting a weed killer and you're okay with it. On top of being a weed killer, glyphosate is also patented as an antibiotic. And I'm going to get 50 comments telling me I'm wrong right now, and I'm going to tell each of you, urge each of you, go Google glyphosate, and you will learn that it is indeed patented.
Quick interruption. Beast Mode Soap sent me this soap, 100% beef tallow, free to try. This is certified grass-fed tallow, never vegan, made in the USA, natural essential oils. We got forest ash, paleo pine. We're in the pine forest. The forest ash is my favorite. I've been using it for a while now. They sent this to me for free, but I liked it so much I agreed to do a paid partnership with them because I believe people need to know what they're putting on their body. And the soap that I had at home is full of chemicals, detergents. Seriously, after I use this soap, my skin feels so soft and so incredible. What you put on your skin ends up in your bloodstream. And I only want to put good things in my body and on my body. And this, there couldn't be much better. This is 100% beef tallow.
Learn more at beastmodesoap.com. Glyphosate, and you will learn that it is indeed patented as an antibiotic. What do you think is happening when you are consuming antibiotics chronically, multiple times a day as you eat your fruit multiple times a day, over and over again, for weeks and weeks, months and months, years and years, decades and decades? 20 years go by of you consuming low levels of weed killer and antibiotics, but you tell yourself, it's okay because I sprinkled some water over it in my kitchen sink. Do you really think the glyphosate, the antibiotics, the pesticides, the weed killers that have permeated the interior of that fruit are washed off by a little bit of water sprinkled on the top of it? An elementary school child could explain to you that that makes no sense whatsoever, because if sprinkling a little bit of water on the exterior of a piece of fruit would eliminate all of the poison, toxins, antibiotics, and weed killers within, then rain would have done it, and none of those chemicals that are very expensive to put on those fruits would have been necessary in the first place. Rinsing your fruit underwater does nothing. It's the same as rainwater going on the fruit. It's completely ineffective. And now you're going to say, but that's okay. That's why I eat organic. And again, I will urge you to do some more research. Organic is one of the biggest marketing ploys of all time. 60% of organic kale tested had glyphosate all over it, antibiotics and weed killer. But it's organic. Well, there's overspray. Well, there's animals that are fed grains that have toxins in them, and those animals defecate in fields that then grow organic foods. Well, that organic material that came from the feces of those animals is then fertilizing the organic fruits that you're eating, and it's getting into those fruits anyhow. This whole organic thing is a complete joke. And the whole organic thing aside, the other problem with fruit is we are chemically mass producing this fruit in soil that is deficient and in the early stages of turning into a desert, because we are absolutely scorching the soils of the earth with chemicals to try to get anything to grow anymore. Ma and Pa farmer used to have an apple tree, or they used to plant some vegetables, and they would do that in soil that the animals would fertilize with their manure. They would feed the animals natural products, not glyphosate-ridden grains like we do now, and the animal would defecate and it would enrich the soil. We're not doing that anymore. We're planting in soil that is nearly sand, and we're blasting chemicals and fertilizers all over it to try to get anything to grow. A piece of fruit today has about 1/7 the nutrients that it would have had 100 years ago, because it's grown in nutrient deplete soil and blasted with chemicals. It may have a little green leaf on your tomato. It may look healthy, but you're getting 1/7 the nutrients that you did before. And that's one of the things I want to talk about in this video as well, is the simple mathematics of fruit. Here I have for you blueberries, a package of blueberries that I am reluctantly going to feed to my goats because I will not consume this. I haven't had any fruit in 2 years now. Let's run the math on this fruit. How many calories do we get from this little berry? And what is the detrimental effects of this berry? Blueberries, for example, are on the dirty dozen list. They're absolutely riddled with pesticides and glyphosate. And do you know that in pesticides, there's also forever chemicals? If pesticides weren't bad enough for you, you're also consuming forever chemicals when you consume these. After your body spends hours trying to process it, and your brain is saying, why am I so tired? Why do I have brain fog? Why do I get done typing on my office job all day and then I'm so fatigued I plop down on the couch and I can barely stand up or do anything with my children or my spouse anymore? Why am I a shadow of the human being I used to be? It's not all blueberries, but this is a huge part of the problem. You are eating foods that require an incredible energy expenditure for your digestive system to process. And what happens when you eat these? You get almost nothing out of them. What do you get? 12 calories out of this thing? How many calories, how much energy units did it take for your digestive system to process all of that? How much did it take for your digestive system to handle the toxins, the low levels of antibiotics, of glyphosate, of pesticides? What did that require? What sort of toll was that? Let's do a math equation on the whiteboard. See how many calories of energy we get out of this thing, and what is the true cost, the long-term cost of chronically consuming antibiotics and pesticides for years and years and decades and decades. Does that math really work out that there's a net benefit at the end of it? And then what happens to you approximately 45 minutes later? You are hungry again because the sugar in these fruits turns into fructose, and it goes into your liver and it spikes dopamine in the brain, and you're jonesing for more sugar. You're jonesing for more carbs, for more starches, for more fiber, and you're eating more fruit. If you're a good little boy, you'll have a little bit more fruit later, and then you're hungry again, and you're never satiated and you're never full. And before you know it, you're reaching for the junk food or the pasta or the potatoes or the other things. This is perpetuating your addiction, and it is not satiating you, and it is coming at a cost. The other big problem with this that I alluded to earlier is it's completely unnatural for us to be consuming these things out of season. They're being shipped across the world. A lot of the fruit is from South America. It's shipped over on a cargo ship. It's sent over on a semi. It's pulled before it's ripe. It sits on a shelf. They spray it with chemicals to peel so that it doesn't rot. And then you consume it out of season multiple times per day, which is wreaking havoc on our livers. And Dr. Sam High is going to speak to that a little bit more in this video as well.
Dr. High, what are your thoughts on fruit?
My thoughts on fruit is that you should avoid it. Okay. The fruits that you would be eating today are not the same fruits that your ancestors would be eating. Our ancestors ate fruit in very small quantities and seasonally during times of food scarcity. And the fruit that they ate was bitter, a lot smaller. The fruit nowadays, it's been bred. It's been genetically modified for yield, to make them bigger, sweeter, to be addictive. This is not the fruit that is healthy for you. And besides that, fruit is a sugar. And we know with any sugar, it can mess with the dopamine pathways. And just like cotton candy or any other type of sugar, it's very addictive. You know, everybody loves eating fruit because it tastes sweet. But also, fruit, the main sugar in fruit is fructose. And fructose is it's a simple sugar, but it's not a benign character. You know, I think it's more dangerous than glucose. See, glucose, if you have issues with glucose, that could eventually lead to diabetes. But with fructose, that gets processed primarily in the liver. And what happens when fructose starts accumulating in the liver? You get fatty liver. Back in the days, the number one cause of liver failure, liver cirrhosis, was alcohol, right? What do you think the number one cause of liver cirrhosis and failure is today? It's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's not from alcohol. It's from fructose, okay? It's from fructose. Stay away. Fructose acts very similar to alcohol. It's a toxin. So I know I may seem a little extreme that I'm against fruit. And you know, there may be some people who are able to tolerate small amounts of fruit. If you're metabolically healthy, okay, you have no metabolic issues, no symptoms, then maybe you can eat some fruit every now and then. But it's not something we're supposed to eat for optimal health. It's to help us get through times when there's not a lot of food available. And again, you don't want to eat too much because that's going to tax your liver.
What kind of things happen if you have fatty liver for a long time? And is it something you're seeing more of?
Yeah, definitely. Not just me. Every other doctor, I'm sure, has seen more fatty liver. You know, it's a big problem when your liver's not functioning because the liver serves so many different, it does so much for your body. You need the liver. The liver is a huge detox organ, right? You know, just think, people with cirrhosis and eventual liver failure, they develop swelling, just like someone who may have congestive heart failure, because the liver will regulate fluid balance as well. Different electrolytes. They have issues with sodium. They also have problems with clotting. There's a lot of clotting factors, a lot of cirrhotics. They bleed. They may develop what's called esophageal varices, where they're bleeding from the esophagus, and you know that's an emergent situation. And so you want to have a liver that's functional. You don't want to get to the point where it becomes cirrhosed, and you need a transplant. That's not what you want to do. Now, will you get cirrhosis just from having a fatty liver? Not exactly. but you're moving towards that direction. Fatty liver, what is that in the first place? It's just a lot of fat around an organ. You don't want to have visceral fat. That's bad. That's the worst type of fat you can have, visceral fat. Fat that's just covering your liver, and it's preventing your liver from functioning optimally. And so it's very important. Don't drink alcohol, and then don't eat fruit, okay? Stay away from candy or any sort of drink that might be high in high fructose corn syrup, which if you just read the labels, you know that's part of so many different so-called foods out there.
And Dr. High, what would you say to people that say, I got to have fruit because I need fiber, I need the nutrients and vitamins and things that I get from fruit?
Fruit doesn't provide you all the different nutrients and vitamins you can't get from a human appropriate diet, from meat. You know, it's most bioavailable from meat, not from fruit. See, fruit has a lot of different plant toxins, especially on the skin. And these plant toxins are also anti-nutrients, and they decrease the absorption of vitamins and minerals that you would get easily from meat. So that's number one. Number two, yes, you'll be getting fiber from eating fruit. But here's the question. Do you need fiber? And the answer is no. Fiber is not essential. Carbohydrates are not essential. In fact, fiber, what happens when you ingest a lot of fiber, it ferments in your gut, produces gas, increases bulk. That's not something I want in my gut. And you know, carnivores have no issues with IBS symptoms or gas or constipation without any fiber. They go beautifully, if you can say that. And so you don't need fruit. You don't need the fiber from fruit to go regularly.
One of the things that really convinced me, I don't know if you've come across Kent Carnivore on YouTube. He's got a great YouTube channel, but we filmed him for a documentary. Sadly, he lost his colon. He has a colostomy bag. And when he would eat fibrous fruits or vegetables, the bag would just fill up with gas and just green sludge. And when he would eat meat, a little bit of liquid, no gas, nothing. And he's like, wow, like I eat this meat, my body's like taking all of those nutrients from the meat and using them. And he's like, I'm chewing this fiber really good. And there's little pieces and bits of it in there, but it all fills up with gas and it all goes in there. And that was one of the things that really helped convince him, like, man, this carnivore thing is the way to go.
That's direct evidence right there. I mean, you can see it right there when you have a colostomy bag, exactly, just like carnivore experienced.
I hope this helped you change your perspective on fruit a little bit. And I encourage you to go watch some more of Dr. High's YouTube channel. He's absolutely incredible. He's absolutely brilliant. I'm thriving on carnivore over 2 years now. I'm filming a documentary called Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet. I filmed individuals all over the world, doctors and individuals, hundreds of them, between my YouTube channel and the documentary. None of them are eating any of this fruit, and all of them are absolutely thriving, better than they have their entire lives. They'll tell you this has saved their life. They're actually living for the first time. Maybe it's worth hearing. Maybe these thousands and thousands, if not millions of anecdotes at this point are worth listening to a little bit closer. If you want to learn more about what I'm doing, you can watch the trailer for our incredible documentary, Healing Humanity. There's a link in the description below for our trailer that Dr. Jordan Peterson tweeted out. And we have a new trailer that will be listed below as well when it is available. And if you want to support us, please visit our GoFundMe. We couldn't be filming this without you, and we want to do a series. We want to fill Hal Cranmer. He is a gentleman running long-term care facilities. He's feeding his patients a proper human diet, and they're going home. He is a positive deviant in the worlds of long-term care facilities that we need to elevate the voice of. We can't do it without you. This entire project is 100% crowdfunded. I spent thousands of dollars of my own money. I'm losing stuff right now. My business is failing. My primary job, I'm barely getting by right now. I haven't taken a penny from this documentary. It's completely crowdfunded. We're going to change the world with it. I won't stop. If I'm penniless and have to mortgage my house, I will not stop. I hope it doesn't have to come to that, though. If you guys are willing to contribute a little bit, we're in the editing phases of our documentary. It's going to be ready in early 2026, but we're hoping to continue filming and editing and marketing for the Healing Humanity series, where we'll have an episode for every major health issue. Thank you so much for watching. I'm thankful, grateful, blessed, and please leave a comment down below. If this video helped you, please share this video. Post it on Facebook, send it to a friend. You might just save their life.